The runway went live on Wednesday, the 22nd of August, I'm pretty sure, and the first, I suppose, notification I got around it was on the Friday, the 24th, because at that point, I suppose, we had had a number of flights taking off and there was a pattern. So when we saw that pattern, when it was different to what we had anticipated, then we started to engage on it. Actually, and, we have acknowledged, that it was unexpected. We were disappointed to see it ourselves. We absolutely needed to start a process of engagement internally and externally with the various parties who are, responsible with us for this, to understand how it had happened. And, that did involve us going back through the various engagements that had been held and understanding what had happened in 2016 and in the, the intervening 6 years up until the actual runway went live. So, fully accept. And I suppose, with regard to a potential breach of trust, I suppose what I would say is we immediately started a process of engagement with the relevant community groups and indeed local councillors and representatives, because we were, aware that, I suppose, communicating, letting people know what our position was and our understanding of that position at all periods that was appropriate, I suppose, from that point up until now. That was how we've tried to address that concern that's out there in the neighbourhood and to address that breach. I would call out, and again, this whole process is very complex, but I would call out that Fingal or ANCA are not involved in any way in the determination of flight paths, are not involved. They don't have any involvement in this issue.
But in terms of the air noise that has now impacted these residents, they go then to ANCA, to their local councillors who are getting huge pressure now, and they're saying this is not our problem. The DAA are saying we didn't know until the first flight took off. The IAA are kind of wiping their hands of it, and everyone's just throwing their hands up in the air going, how can you possibly plan a runway that costs so much and has so much public consultation that on the morning of the first flights going out that you don't know that the flights are going to take a right turn the way they did? That's just... It's huge anger out there, and there's a big meeting tomorrow night about it, and I hope that over the course of the next few weeks we'll have further clarification and that we can start to rebuild trust. But there's an awful lot of understandable anger out there. If I could just move to the pricing, your line in point 11. The regulators disallowed the recruitment of up to 240 of the security staff needed at Dublin by 2026. Because of its decision on its pricing, I'm very clear. I understand the pricing. I'm not. We have to pull the prices down. I know that there's no link really, as you outlined, with the price of flights. We need to fund and be able to invest in our airports. But this is quite. This is the standout line in your whole submission contribution, is that you are now saying that 240 staff can't be hired because of this pricing decision. You're saying that clearly.